shows the capability of this team, and really proud of them. And we're going to get reset. We're going to put together another great week and get prepared for the coming weekend.
Okay, once again, we'll get the mic to you right here in the front row. Just go ahead.
This is for players first, right?
Yes, this is for players.
Hayden, you had a big weekend at the plate, and I just want to know, as of late, I think you've homered in 10 of the last 20 games you've played in. What's been working for you lately?
Just trusting myself and really keyholing specific spots and not getting outside of my plan in that aspect. When I say trust myself, I just not overdoing anything. I know I'm strong, so I don't really have to try to force balls to be hit hard. I just got to let it happen, and that's about it. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. It's just a deep connection, I suppose.
Okay, right here in the front, guys.
Yes, for Dylan. You have a career NCAA tournament average 485 with 7 home runs. I mean, what is it about the NCAA tournament that you kind of take it up a notch?
I don't know, really. I just kind of, I don't know, there's a deeper will to win and a deeper will to compete with, my teammates. I just go out there and try and have as much fun as I possibly can with these guys. And, I don't know, it just kind of, the more fun I have, the better I play. So, that's what I try and do.
Right behind him.
Yeah, Dylan, you mentioned earlier this week that you've been waiting kind of 3 years to have this experience to play postseason ball at the box. Did it kind of live up to everything you'd expect? And then just kind of also talk about the offense and how you guys did this weekend.
It's definitely lived up to the expectations that I had, for sure. The energy, the atmosphere is unbelievable. And all the guys, I think, were really has some tunnel vision for this weekend, and it worked out. Everybody was gelling pretty well this weekend, and we just passed it to the next guy, really, and we had faith in all the guys. All the pitchers came in and pounded the zone and did what they needed to do.
Josh, you've had a big weekend and you've been playing pretty well here out of late. What has sort of clicked for you maybe over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, just showing up to the field every day and trusting my process. Even if I'm not in the lineup or anything, just doing whatever I can to help the team win that day. And every at bat, just slowing it down and being where my feet are and just trying to help the offense.
Dylan, that home run you had yesterday, you were about as excited as I think anyone here has seen you. What was sort of that moment for you, and was that sort of the biggest home run you've hit so far in your LSU career?
It was just I tried to get the offense going, really. I felt like it was a spark for this lineup to kind of get going. Before the rain delay, we were we trusted our plan. We had the right plan going in, but the bats were a little quiet. We were able to go in and reset our minds. I think it was just a turning point to get the team going and the crowd going. So felt good.
Back in the back.
Dylan, just getting to play at Alec Box Stadium in a postseason atmosphere, I know you'd look forward to that for a while. Just how was that whole experience for you this weekend?
It was unbelievable. I think this is the best. The atmosphere was the best I've seen since I've been here so far. It was awesome. I think the players lived up to it too. They enjoyed every bit of it. It was great to see everybody out there. It was awesome.
Back here in the front.
Dylan, so many players speak so highly of your mentality. What is the one thing that just keeps you grounded throughout all this season?
Yeah, I guess just the balance really throughout the year. Just trusting my process every day, but also doing things I love outside of baseball, which is going fishing or hanging out with friends. Really, I think the balance, keeping the mind fresh all the time, it gets me, more willing and having more fun out there. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Hayden, you caught a variety of lefties today. I just wanted to know, from your perspective, what was working for Riley Cooper, Griffin Herring, and Nate Ackenhausen?
It was a good change because we primarily threw righties throughout the week, so it's good to have both, especially coming out of the pen. And like we say, we trust our guys. We trust anybody who comes out of the pen to get the job done, especially for that hitter that they're supposed to face. So it was awesome. Griffin took big strides. Nate looked good as usual, and then it was good to see Coop out there as well.
Michael?
Yeah, it's for Josh and Hayden. We'll start with Hayden because we're on you. Just Coach mentioned it, winning games in different ways, right? Obviously, the first game was very different than the last two games. How much confidence does that give you? I know he preaches that all the time, but to execute and do it.
Right. In postseason play, you have to be able to score in any possible way. And a big emphasis for us is just when there's runners in scoring position, slowing down and putting a good at-bat together. And that's a big focus for our whole lineup is just quality at-bats and pass it to the next guy and keep it moving.
Yeah, like Hayden said, just being able to keep the stick moving in the lineup. Some days wind might be blowing in or something like that, so we might have to lay a few bunts down. And it's just good knowing that everybody in our lineup can do anything needed to help move the offense.
Right here in the front.
Dylan, throughout this weekend, having Josh in front of you, creating offense the way he did, what did it do for you as the leadoff hitter to have him in front of you?
Yeah, it was awesome to have him, bat in front of me, bat in the 9-hole, but in front of me when the lineup switches over. There's no breathing room in this lineup really. I think everybody has an opportunity and potential to hit a home run at any point, and he gets on base a lot of the time, so it helps turn the lineup over and gets the top of the order. Keeps the momentum going.
Okay, Jacques in the back there.
Hayden, there was a lot of discussion about how you guys would pitch this weekend, the strategy. It appeared to all lay out perfectly. Can you just describe how it went and the importance of the marble game in particular last night to get to today?
You said how we were pitched?
How LSU.
Oh, how we pitched.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was huge. We had a lot of big starts, especially from Skeens, tied through really well yesterday. And then Coop did a great job coming out today. I think everyone on our team has the ability to go out there and execute, and we have faith in each other, and I think that's the biggest part.
Right here to your right.
Yeah, Hayden, right here to your right. Just you've spoken a lot last month about just the injuries you had throughout your career, and just how rewarding is it, I guess, to have a stretch like this where you're coming through in such big moments for the team?
It's rewarding, but I know we have goals that aren't fulfilled. So my priority is just to keep moving. It feels good. It's awesome. I'm glad I can provide for the team. And I think that's the biggest part, just being able to do my job when my number's called.
Back in the back.
Hayden, we'll stay with you. Just understand Coach told you the news after the game. How important was Wes for this staff this year? How did he help you? I talked to Jordan. He said he helped him. Not even pitchers, but do you have a good relationship with him, and do you feel like he really helped the team?
Absolutely. I think there's multiple pitchers that he helped kind of propel them forward in a big way, and he's a great baseball mind, great human. He's going to do great things at that school, and I couldn't be happier for a person.
Okay, we got one more in the front here.
Josh, you said that trust and has having faith in the players when you can't do it yourself. How essential has that been this season?
Oh yeah, it's everything. I mean, this year has been the most fun I've had in my whole entire life playing baseball, and it's just because if Hayden's up to bat, I know he's going to do whatever he can to help the team win. Same for Dylan, same for everybody else in the lineup or even on the bench. It's just everybody wants to do the same thing. It's go to Omaha and win a national championship.
Got a couple in the back here.
Josh, Jordan spoke on field about kind of the later guys in the lineup, how it becomes the top of the order. I mean, 2 triples in the 4th inning of Game 2 and Game 3, big hits by Jordan as well. I mean, do you guys have some late in the batting order chemistry going on there?
I mean, my main goal is just kind of turn the offense over and get it to the big hitters like Dylan and Tommy and Hayden and everybody else. So my main goal is just get on first base every time I go up to bat.
Back here on the right. Hold on. Go ahead.
Dylan, your high school coach surprised you this weekend. Just how special was that for you?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I haven't seen him in a long time, Just to get him over here and watch me play, it was pretty special. And I was, put a big smile on my face to see him out there and support me and the Tigers.
Okay, Mike in the back.
Yeah, Dylan, how's the neck?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm gonna need an ice bath after this for sure.
Okay, is there anything else for the student athletes? Okay, guys, we're going to release you guys. I think there might be some obligations out here that you might need to take care of with one-on-one interviews, and we'll go ahead and open the questions for Coach. You guys can go ahead and go. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, this weekend in every phase of the game, was it one of your more complete weekends? Hitting, starting pitching, relief pitching, fielding. Was it one of the more complete weekends you've had this year?
Yeah, I think it was very complete baseball. I think it was complimentary baseball. I remember the first game of the season, Paul went out and threw a shutout. We played airless defense and hit a few homers and moved the ball with runners in scoring position and talked about being a good model. And sometimes we've done 2 of the 3 well. And usually when we've done 2 of the 3 well, we win because we have really good players that have a good plan. But I feel good about how we executed and played complimentary baseball this weekend.
Jay, obviously the news just broke about Wes Johnson. Does he plan on staying for the rest of the season?
Yeah, he's locked in. This has been done for like 5 days. So, I think the preparation and the execution of the pitching staff this weekend speaks for itself. And, it's just a new time in college athletics. So I would just, we were having a meeting tomorrow morning. I was going to tell him tomorrow morning, but obviously you don't get to that point. But I love him like a brother. I can't imagine only spending 11 months with somebody and connecting the way that we have. And, we're gonna get a great pitching coach. Like, I'm not even worried about that or dialing any of that stuff in. I love working with him. And he's made a big impact on our guys, and it's been great. But, it is what it is, and I don't have any reason to worry about how we're going to roll going forward.
Over the last couple of weeks, the pitching staff has gradually improved. Is that just sort of a testament to how this team has sort of grown with Wes and really taking advice?
I think sometimes what gets lost in this environment, meaning the SEC or the top of college baseball, like, look back at our schedule, and I would add Oregon State to that this weekend, and then the SEC tournament, and there's 8 regional hosts from our conference this year. I think we played 6 of the 8. And so you're going to get hit in the mouth a little bit. What I always have had confidence in is we've kind of always rallied back. I lost a 9-run lead to Mississippi State and then went out and pitched 3 really good games in a row after that. And sometimes that gets lost. But this is also a development-based business, and sometimes guys develop at different times. Griffin Herring probably wasn't ready to do what he did today in March, but he developed over the course of time, and because we had gotten him in some of those situations, he was totally in control of himself out there. And those are all over the team. Just a couple of, Hayden, the guy's been hurt, nonstop for the last 2 years, but he just stayed with it, and while he wasn't in the lineup and Brady and Alex were playing, he just kept getting better, and now he was ready for his time. That's just part of maybe the curtain that doesn't get pulled back for everybody outside of us, but we see it, and it gives you confidence in guys, in settings like this. And so, yeah, they've developed in a great way.
Right next time, Coach.
Jay, you talked a good bit about Josh Pearson recently because of the way that he's played. When he did get his shot here, what do you think allowed him to play well down the stretch?
He controls his heartbeat. He's a good hitter. He has a good short swing. He manages his zone really well. And if you asked him, he kind of got outplayed a little bit going into the season by a number of good players on this team. And this was a competitive, it's obvious, it's the best offense in the country. So it's hard to get in that lineup. But he kept working. It's kind of the same as Hayden. Stayed positive, and I had a meeting with him right before we started conference play and said, hey, I'm going to play you tomorrow just because I trust you. And he was really big in that series win at Texas A&M, and then played well against Arkansas and played well against Tennessee, and then cooled off and somebody heated up, and it just comes down to I trust him to take championship level at bats and to do the things that these guys articulated already. He just brings a lot in that regard.
Over here to your left, Jay.
Jay, throughout all the delays these past few days with the weather and just all these different things that have come up, what do you say the one thing is that you're teaching these boys that's important when things like that do happen?
They would talk about controlling what you could control, and you hear us talk about preparation a lot, overcoming, challenges. Kind of a saying I have with them is there's no problems, there's only challenges, and that's all mindset, and we're going to be a no drama program, tell us when to play. If there's lightning within 8 miles, I guess that means you can't play. So let us know when we can get back out there and be prepared. I was really proud of them for how locked in we were when we restarted the game yesterday. I was proud of them for showing up ready to play, even though we didn't play on Saturday. And I think that's just maturity, and as it should be. You know, we have old players. You know, a lot of these guys, you know, we're in a very tightly contested regional last year, and they used that experience to their benefit this weekend.
Back right here, Coach.
Jay, obviously, you know, it feels good to be able to win right here, be able to win, you know, your regional, but how much are you emphasizing to your guys? Like, yes, we're going to celebrate today, but we have bigger things that we're looking forward to, especially making it to Omaha.
Yeah, I think the best thing that happened was, as I said earlier in my opening statement, the preparation for this weekend was elite. And so they have a blueprint. And so I want them to enjoy this. I think if you don't for a minute, you kind of forget about why are you actually doing this. And then they'll have a very structured plan, starting with our meeting later tomorrow morning, of how we're going to attack next weekend. And I have no concern whatsoever of them being ready to play next weekend.
Back left, Coach.
Coach, you obviously broke this down backwards and forwards in terms of your approach and how you were going to pitch it. I just wanted your thoughts now after that you won the 3 games to start Skeens first, and then Thatcher to team up with Ty, and then the job your guys did today, along with those rain delays that kind of challenged you there.
Yeah, this is always one of my favorite weeks of the year, and I love the preparation part of it. Once we got the bracket, we started looking at each team and maybe where the potential trouble spots, problems might arise. You know, it's postseason baseball. I think going with Paul, I'm guessing, is the nature of the question, is I thought it would help our team settle into the postseason. And then the weather thing, that was a real deal. And I have some underground sources that I used all of them. And that was, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that was all of the decision, but it was certainly part of the decision. I remember in 2016, my team won a regional at Louisiana Lafayette, and then we bust straight to Mississippi State for the Super Regional, and that was on Tuesday, and LSU's regional was still being played on Tuesday. So knowing that there was some weather, the potential that he could possibly pitch twice if that was needed, if the pitch count was low, in one of those situations. And then I don't think anybody gives Ty Floyd enough credit. The guy's undefeated. That means he has not lost a game. I'm not a genius, but I think it's good when you can pitch guys that haven't lost a game.
Right here in the front, Coach.
Riley Cooper's been pitching for you for a while now. If you could go back to his freshman year, which I know he pitched in a lot of high leverage situations for you at Arizona, what did you identify with him that made you trust him so quickly, and how has he grown?
Yeah, trust is the key word. First off, go back and look up at his high school statistics. He was like 30-1 or something like that. And high school baseball in Fresno, California is really good. Like, this is not, he was a winner. That was the first thing. We recruited him at Arizona because he was a winner. And then he pitched in some big spots as a freshman. And, you know, I'll never forget this opening game. So part of back to the pitching strategy in 2021 as a freshman, we pitched our ace, Chase Silseth, who's already in the major leagues, and he gave up like 4 fast. I mean, we were down 4-0 in game 1 of a home regional as a host and national seed, and they were a little bit left-handed, so we rolled him out there and allowed our team to come back. And I mean, it was a really solid performance. And then the very next weekend against Ole Miss in game 1 of a super regional, major league pitcher gives up 3 in the first inning. We come back and kind of tie it up. And then we go right to him again, and he shuts Ole Miss down, and you know, helps us get to Omaha, and then goes to Omaha, and we're playing in front of 26,000 people against Vanderbilt, and you're rolling him out there, and I mean the heartbeat's slow, and he just executes. I mean, he pitched in 2 games in the NCAA tournament last year. There's never been a question about whether he can do it or not, and I mean, he's had some of the most important pitching performances of the 2 years that we've been here, and he's just a winner. And sometimes it's not about the velocity of the fastball. It's not about the metrics. It's about who's a winner. You know, and Riley Cooper's a winner. and we're at winning time right now. So, that's why he was chosen today, and the fact that we thought specifically after watching the game last night that he would match up well with Oregon State.
Back left, Michael.
Yeah, Jay, just more of as a big picture, you got what probably perfect scenario out of your pitching staff, I guess. Just right guys, right time. Do you really feel like it's rounding into what you wanted it to be?
Yes and no, because if it was perfect, Chase Shores, Garrett Edwards, Grant Taylor, or Jaden Newt would be out there. These guys are major leaguers. I think it speaks to how quality of a team that we have, that we've lost all of those guys, and we're sitting here 46-15, and we're playing home baseball with 2 wins to get to Omaha. And again, like, this game is not designed like football and basketball, and there's going to be some failure in it, and I'm just proud of them for kind of withstanding some of that and the response. And we needed to do 2 things well. When we brought relievers into the game, they needed to be ready to get the first guy out, because we're bringing them in at a certain time to face a certain hitter, and we've started to do that really, really well. Every guy did that today. And then when something goes wrong, to reset for the next pitch. And mentally, I would just give our pitchers a lot higher marks over the last 3 weeks, being Georgia, SEC tournament, and this weekend prior to what we were doing the 2 weekends before that. And then you can look before that, and there were some pretty good runs of pitching there too, at Ole Miss and Tennessee here. And you start moving forward, there were some other guys coming into the end of the game that, we'll be excited to have back someday.
Right here in the front left, Coach. Two in a row. Go ahead.
Jay, you said since day one that it's never about just Omaha. It's one game at a time, one day at a time. Is that still the mindset leading up into Super Regionals?
Yeah. We talked about a couple things going into the postseason. Number one is it's a John Wooden thing of it's amazing what can be accomplished when nobody cares who gets the credit. And these guys are a team, and they're all about the togetherness part of it. They've done a wonderful job with that. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is just legitimately, no matter where we are at, that is where we were at. We're not worried about the next game. We're not worried about the next inning, the next pitch, and being just incredibly present. And I think when you look at the complementary baseball that was played from the mound, from the field, offensively, executing in a lot of ways, they did that this weekend. And so again, my hope is that encourages them to stay locked into that frame of mind. And if they do that, then we play really good baseball. And if they do that, I can legitimately surrender the result because I know the mindset is right.
Right to the left again.
Jay, last year in Hattiesburg, you were bitterly disappointed when you guys lost because a couple at bats, and maybe you're hosting the Super Regional last year. From that point to now, to get to host the Super Regional, I know it's not the ultimate goal, but how much fuel did that add to the fire for this season?
Yeah, I don't need any more motivation. This is my entire life, and there's losses I think about every day. I lost the national championship game with a tying run on third and a winning run on second, and I'm over it. I'm at peace with it, but I think about it every single day to this day. That one hurt, not for the, we didn't do this or that. I really wanted those guys to go to Omaha. You know what I mean? That's a group of guys that had not been there other than the guys we brought. So that's the part for me. It's like, I want this for them. And so, we don't need any more motivation though. Yeah, we could do some things like Coach Bertman has done, and we'll still be plenty motivated around here. I promise.
Again in the front, Coach.
You were saying the other day that Hayden Travinski isn't just a feel-good story. He's a really good baseball player. Obviously, 2 home runs this weekend. What are some of the things that make him so effective at the plate?
Yeah, I think he's very gifted in terms of his size, his physical strength. I think he loves hitting, and I think that's what the great part about this has been is I was watching everything that was happening before we actually kind of put him in there. And you're taking this talented guy that figured out a process to develop to get him to that point. and then he's got nothing to lose, you know, and those guys with talent that have nothing to lose, that have the right plan, they can be scary. And he's in that mode right now. And he's so in control of himself. Like, the homers grab your attention, but how about the RBI single to right field on the changeup? I think it was his last at bat or second to last at bat. I mean, those are the things I go about. It's like, man, you throw it over here, he's going to hit it off the scoreboard, and he's willing to do that because that's what the game called for at that time. That's professional hitting.
Right here in the second row, Coach.
Hey, Coach, for most of the year, Riley has really struggled, but in his last two outings, not only has he been effective, but he's looked a lot more confident on the mound. What do you have to say about his last two outings?
He really was, he wanted to pitch today. I mean, he got to us after the game was over, and I'd already had it in my mind that this what we were going to do. But it was like, hey, man, let's go. Like, give me the ball and we're going to win kind of attitude. And I thought that's how he pitched in Hoover also. You know, if we would have done a little bit more with Hagen Smith from Arkansas, we would have won that game, largely because of how well he pitched. And I believe Arkansas is one of the best teams in the country. And, yeah, I'm really pleased with how he's been down the stretch. He pitched good in that game. The game we lost, the lead to Mississippi State, he was the guy that came in and gave us a chance. And, you know, pitched good in Hoover. So it's been pretty good. We've been on an upward tick here lately.
We'll take a couple more. One here in the middle.
Jay, this is incredibly random, but y'all's first run was scored on a hit by pitch, and y'all have now been hit by a pitch 251 times over the last two seasons. Can you explain why that might be happening?
Yeah, but I won't. No, it's unselfish play. You know what I mean? It's we have a hitting approach. We stick to our hitting approach. Part of that approach is to win what we call the free base war. You know, we want to walk, hit by pitches, make less errors than our opponents, advance on ball in the dirt, steal bases when it allows. And if you win those categories, you'd be amazed at how little else you have to do to win the game. Most college baseball games are actually lost. They're not won. And that part of it, and taking pride and being willing to do that, is just kind of part of our formula for winning.
Okay, Coach in the back, and then we'll come back to the front.
Coach, there's a lot of teams that were highly ranked all year that we're hosting this weekend that are no longer playing moving forward. I just wanted to get your take on how difficult it actually is to win at this time of year.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I haven't scoreboard watched a whole lot because we've been really locked in on what we're doing here. Have no idea of anything that happened today. It's hard, you know. I mean, again, what Coach did here and the flags and doing it that frequently, that should really be appreciated because it's not that easy. And I tell him this all the time. I'm very thankful for what he did here because it's made LSU and the best place to coach in the country. But what he did is he made all the teams in the Southeastern Conference a lot better too, which makes my job a lot harder. But it's hard to win. It's hard to win one college baseball game. And so all elements of the program have to function at a high level: recruiting, development, coaching staff, the engagement of the players and what's going on. And even when you do all those things right, it doesn't guarantee success. But if you don't have all of that, you don't have a chance, you know, to win on this stage.
Okay, right here in the front again. And then we got one more in the back after, and we'll finish.
I know last year your lefties were basically just Riley Cooper. How important is it to have 2 to 3 more guys who can throw from the left side?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, that'll be something. It'll be a point of emphasis going forward. I think I learned as a young coach, like, having left-handed hitting and left-handed pitching is a key formula if you want to win at the highest level. And you know, obviously, having those 3 guys out there today, we didn't use Javen because he would have started the game, obviously, if we had to play another game. What an asset that's been. And, you know, really happy to have Jake Brown and Kate Anderson coming down the pipe next year, and we're just going to keep piling them up.
Okay, Michael, you got one in the back?
Yeah. Jay, I just wondered, the success that you had this week, does it get the wheels turning as far as what your staff and capabilities are for next week when you only got to win 2?
You're talking about the pitching staff? Yeah, I mean, I feel really good about how we came out of this. I think we're playing on Friday, but I haven't heard that officially. I thought they just do it by what side of the bracket you're on. So we're set whether we play Friday or Saturday with where we wanted to be coming out of this.
Okay, Coach, this will be the last and final right here.
When interviewing Ackenhausen, he said that Wes Johnson taught him a lot mentally about himself that he didn't know. Would you say that Wes has left his mark in a way mentally for these boys?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's done a great job with those guys, and, you know, between the ears, that's a huge part of our program and how we operate. You know, I'm not a pitching mechanics guy per se, but you notice I go to the mound a lot. It's literally just to help them in those moments and about what's going on in the game and just getting them reconnected to execute the things that Wes has taught them. And, you know, he's very complete as a coach, and like I said, he's a great person. And, you know, his impact's not done here. Like, he's with us, you know what I mean? And we've hashed out everything we need to hash out to be in the right spot. And, you know, we're in a good spot moving forward.
Okay, Coach, thanks for your cooperation. Thank you all for everybody's patience, and we'll see y'all next weekend, this weekend, really.